Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Avini Vibes. What's today? Thursday, June 18th, 2026. I'm your host, Christine Rolando. I'm from Warwick, New York, which is about 53 miles from New York City. And it's beautiful, beautiful countryside where I am. And I'm very grateful that I can do Avini from anywhere, not just my own home, but I can do it from anywhere. And I'm going to tell you just a couple, I'll say, housekeeping things that we want to talk about. I want to first welcome the guests. So are there any guests? You could raise your hand and say, hey. So if you're a guest, someone thought very much that you're very special and you're very smart. That's why you got invited here tonight. So I want you to know that you're appreciated and that you are a special person to be invited to these calls. We're very grateful and we're blessed to have the incredible technologies, the leadership, this company, changing people's lives. That's what Avini Vibes is about, changing people's lives. And a reminder, we don't make any medical claims and we don't diagnose, we don't treat. We're here to learn, to listen, and share. Now, Carol's got the power because she's got you all muted. So I think tonight that's what we might call this. Got the power. So we're going to talk about your power tonight. It's going to be a little different than usual. We do have you muted, but at the end, we're going to unmute and you're going to raise your hand if you want to make a comment or you have a good, something to share. And I don't know if Nella's on, but many of you know Nella. Today is her 85th birthday. Happy birthday, Nella. And I swear she's reversing with age. It's amazing. I think she cut the lawn, she painted her house, and she was weed eating today. So she's amazing. So happy birthday, Nella. Tonight's going to be different than usual because we are going to hear a recording. Has anybody ever heard of Jim Rohn? Has anybody ever seen Jim Rohn in person? Now, if you don't know who Jim Rohn is, Jim Rohn was born in 1930 and he passed away in 2009. And I'm just going to read because who he was a special man. He was gifted. He was an entrepreneur, but he was an author, a motivational speaker. And what he has to say, I saw him once speak, and wow, it really did change my life. He was somebody that inspired millions of people worldwide. His voice is still carries on beyond, far and beyond. And he was really a mentor to many people. And he was also a mentor to someone else that you might know, Tony Robbins, and many other professionals. But we're going to listen to something a little different. We're going to do a short video. We're going to listen to him. It's not a video. We're going to listen to him, and then we're going to have our very own Carol Witt is going to share a story with her. And right when we get started with that, I want to tell you a quick funny story. Today, you can do Avini anywhere, and I'm going to tell you what happened to me. I was having lunch today with the former commissioner of mental health. We always were good friends. So I'm sitting there outside the restaurant waiting for him, and somebody opens my door, my car door, and tries to get in my car. And I turned and I said to her, oh, hi. And she was getting in the wrong car, but I made the best of it. We became new best friends, and she now knows about Avini. So I'm hoping she's with us this evening. So you never know who's going to climb in your car, and you're going to share with Avini anywhere, anytime. So with that, Carol, could we share this beautiful story? And you might want to get a piece of paper so you can write some of these cool things down that Jim Rohn has to say. My son shared this with me yesterday when we were driving in the car, and I said, this is special. So we're going to listen to that. All right, Carol, I think we're ready.
Here we go.
You got the power.
All right. Let me make sure the sound is good. Okay. Here we go. Okay, tell me when you can see this, because that means...
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. All right, here we go.
So now jot this down. Purpose is stronger than object. The object would be the house, and that'll pull. That's a worthy goal to go for, the object of the house. But here's a stronger goal, the purpose for the $1 million home. You say, well, it'll be the centerpiece of all the family's activity with all kinds of unique people coming and going, and the influence and things will be happening in this place. See, now we're getting somewhere. So if you got that line, it's one of my best for the whole day. Purpose is stronger than object. It's okay to have plenty of objects to go for on your goal list. But always keep asking yourself the question, and sometimes it's good to just write it out. Here's why I want this money. Here's why I want this place. Here's why. And you start developing those reasons. And I'm telling you now, this starts to become incredibly powerful. Some of your goals should be personal development. The person you wish to become. Develop skills that make you attractive to the marketplace. Develop the temperament and the attitude that makes you attractive to the business world. The attitude and the temperament that makes you a splendid father, studying the art. Because here's what's important. It's not what you get that makes you valuable. It's what you become that makes you valuable. I keep saying this year after year for the last 39 years publicly. It's the person you become. The idea of becoming an attractive person, a skillful person, a good friend, a good colleague, a good partner, a good member of the round table, a contributor. See, that's the key, the person you become. I mean, I'm telling you, this stuff changed my life, altered the course of my life. From milking cows to sitting on this stool. Incredible. What a journey. And part of the explosive stimulation started when I met Earl Schoaf, and he asked me, have you got a list of goals? And I said, no. And he said, then I can guess your bank balance. I thought, whoa. I immediately started studying the art. And the art and the accomplishments of it helped to change my life.
When you have no goals, your life becomes easy to predict. Same habits, same distractions, same results. The difference starts when you build discipline around your day. The Self-Discipline Hacks Playbook gives you a practical system for focus, structure, and execution, so you stop drifting and start following through. Link is in the episode description.
Now I want you to answer this question. What kind of person must I become to achieve all I want? And I'll give you time to write that down now. What kind of person must I become to achieve all I want? What you become helps you to achieve, and what you achieve helps you to become. And the more you become, the more you can achieve, and the more you achieve, the more you can become. Who knows which affects the other the most? This is time for a little truth here. Maybe you need to become much wiser than you are at the moment. You need to become stronger. You need to have better health. Maybe you need a little coaching to really become the person I want to become. I'm going to have some coaching, physical coaching, spiritual coaching, developing skills coaching. To be the influence you want to be, you got to build an incredible reputation. What kind of person must I be to attract all that I want in my life and the people that I want and the opportunities that I want? When you knock on the door and opportunity opens, you must stand there as a very attractive person, or you may not be invited in. One of the most mysterious and unique phrases that Jesus ever used. Here's what he said. I stand at the door and knock. And if you opened the door, would you probably invite him in? This extraordinary person. You say, wow, yeah. And he said, if you invite me, I'll come in. We'll sit down, talk things over. For you to be that kind of attractive person, that if you knocked on the door of opportunity and it opened and you stood there, would you be the kind of person that opportunity would say, come right in? Take these notes. The key is to put everything on your list. Now, the key is to take it out of your head and put it on paper. You know, you can dream about what you want, but when you start committing it to paper, now it more formalizes. Information now starts to make a composite of an idea. And ideas can turn into hotels. Ideas can turn into enterprises. Ideas can turn into a fabulous career. We need the information. We need the stimulation. But then you'll learn now later to start putting everything on your list. Now, jot this down. It's very important, if something's not that important to you, to take it off your list. You don't have to accomplish this whole list. But if you had 100 items on your list and you accomplished 80, who cares about the other 20? If you got the biggest share of what you went for, wouldn't that be enough? And the answer is probably yes. It'd be overwhelming. Okay. So you can rearrange this list. You can change it. You can tear it up and start over. You can say, oh, you know, last year I thought this was so important. That's not important to me anymore. The things I've learned in the last 12 months, I've changed my whole goal list. I thought this was so it. There's two great words of antiquity everybody should learn. Here they are. One's positive and one's negative. Here's the positive word from antiquity. Behold. That's the positive word. Behold the possibilities. Behold the opportunity. Behold the future and give it design. Behold and look at the chances you've got. Behold, spring has come. Behold, the day has arrived and the sun is shining and the shadows are fleeing away. Behold, the next person you can meet might be your friend for life. Behold, the next person might be a colleague forever. Behold, that's the positive word, behold. Now, here's the negative word, beware. And now I want to give you a sentence to jot down that's very valuable. Here's what it is. Beware of what you become in pursuit of what you want. Beware. All of our lives we have to deal with behold and beware. When a kid goes to school, it's behold the opportunity and beware the dangers. Behold and beware. So beware of what you become, pursuing what you want. Some things I went for in the very beginning cost me too much. I got so obsessed with some things that I found out later the price was too big to pay. If I would have known better, I never would have paid. But sometimes we learn when? After. So don't become so obsessed with something that you lose your sense of reason or it costs you your friends. Don't be so obsessed with something that you compromise your virtues and your values. Here's a key phrase. The greatest source of unhappiness is self-unhappiness. It's not from outside the things that make us unhappy. The greatest devastating unhappiness is to be unhappy with yourself. Now, a mild form of unhappiness is constructive. The desperate form of unhappiness is destructive. It's like worry. We should all worry a little, but not let it destroy our lives. If you're in New York about to step off the curb in downtown Manhattan and the yellow taxi's coming, best you worry enough to get your feet back up on the curb lest you get yourself wiped out. So it's called caution but not undue caution. It's called fear and worry, but not the worry that kills you, not the worry that destroys you. It's like hate. You know, you don't need to hate your job. Save your hate for the important things like evil, like the weeds that attack your garden, like the diabolical ideas that try to entice your children. Right? You don't need to hate everything. I hate this, I hate that. That's the misuse of your hate. Save it for the things we really must hate. And now here's the last note. If you'll start this glorious journey of being meticulous, deliberate, and hardworking about setting your goals for the day, setting your goals for the month and the year, setting your goals for your family and yourself and your business and your colleagues, start thinking forward. Here's what you will become: a major contributor not only to yourself, but a major contributor to others.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Yeah. That's what we're doing here at Avini. We're being major contributors to ourselves and to others. Pretty powerful. He's got a great playlist on Spotify. You could just listen to it, pop your earbuds in, and just, keep feeding those good things that he talks about. Anyway, Carol, with that, I want to let Carol take this opportunity to share something that she went through recently. Many of you might know or not know, but she wasn't on camera the last couple of weeks, and she wasn't because she was busy. So, Carol, the floor is yours. Thank you, Carol, for being here.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Carol Witt, and Christine, when I decided I wanted to share this story, I was like, what parts do I want to share? And first of all, what I want to do is I want to share something with you that goes along with what Jim Rohn just shared. And that's this. I knew I was facing surgery once again. This is my second go around. And I knew I was facing about probably 7 hours of surgery. So this wasn't a small thing. This was a big thing. And so one of the things I did is I teach a program called the YEA Global Program, and it teaches mindset. It's the biggest deal. And I wanted to go in that surgery with a great mindset. And so I decided that I was going to create something. And guys, one of our pillars is declaration. So I declared to all of my students before this even happened that it was going to be a blissful experience. Now, I want to just share with you that declaration, guys, isn't just wishful thinking. It's not just hoping it'll happen. It is actually declaring it, be intentional about it, and take action around it. So the actions I took before, 1 month before my surgery, is I started spraying nano right where they had done the biopsies. I started spraying nano so that it would give it some, so it wouldn't have, I wouldn't have, inflammation and possible infection, and it would be as healthy as it could be. Oh, by the way, I also dropped on the cell defender, little drops here and there. So I was in action. So I declared to my whole classroom, 86 countries, guys, I declared to them that I was going to have this blissful experience. Now, I want you to know that there was fear. There was absolutely fear because I knew I'd gone through it before and it wasn't fun. So I knew I was facing something, but I did not want to go in with that mental attitude. I wanted to go in with an attitude. I was going to get through this with a blissful experience. And I've got to tell you, that's exactly what I had, guys. I had a blissful experience. And I got to tell you, I just got my stitches out yesterday. And my doctor said to me, Carol, I don't know what you've been doing, but it's beautiful. There's no redness. There's no inflammation. There's no swelling. That is not normal for this kind of surgery, guys. And the stitches were all the way across my shoulder. Okay, so I want you to get being intentional is taking action. And so I, for the last 2 weeks, have been spraying nano, dropping the cell defender. So I've been in action. But here's really the part I want to share, and that is this, guys. I have been doing plus relief every couple hours, just a couple sprays every couple hours. That has given me my blissful experience because I've felt no pain. And I've taken no pain pills, and they prescribed pain pills for me, and I didn't go get them because they said, you're going to need them. And I said, mm-mm. And by the way, guys, I can raise my arms again, all the way up again. Yes. So I just really want to share with you, guys, we can design our lives. We absolutely can declare things and design what we want in our lives, just like that blissful experience that I wanted to walk away with. And I got to tell you, I walked away with a blissful experience, right down to the doctor telling me that it's in beautiful condition. My shoulder is in beautiful condition. Oh, and by the way, they were going to do another skin graft. And they didn't have to because my body was hydrated and there was enough that they could pull together and stitch it. And it was all inside of how I take care of myself with all of the Avini products. So I want you to get, this is another thing out there that you can share with people. They want to have a blissful experience, have a painless experience. You want to share this testimony with them that are facing surgery because it will make it so much different their experience. Anyway, I'm so grateful. Christine, thank you for sharing Avini with me twice now. It has made such a difference in my life. Thank you for being my sponsor and not giving up on me when you couldn't even reach me for a while, and having me see the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, Carol, thank you. Carol, you're probably the one in a million, 10 million that would say surgery is a blissful experience. Right? I wish Chip was on here in this, because Chip always says about Carol's always so expressive and all. But thank you for declaring that going in, and you were right, and there were no bad cells, right? I mean, that was the other thing, you just
Totally
went in.
clean. Totally clean.
Yeah. Yes. So important, so important. Does anybody we have some time. If you want to come out, raise your hand and share something. Richard, come on on. Come on down, Richard. Got to
Uh,
unmute.
Let me
Then
unmute.
mute.
There you go,
Yep.
Rich.
And then just if you have anybody else
Yeah.
wants to comment, just put your hand up and we'll get
Can
you'll
you
be
hear me?
next.
Yeah, there we
Yes.
go. Carol, you're a beautiful lady, and I just wanted to say that you're actually wearing that good news. You look amazing, Carol. I mean, you really, it's like night and day. It's just when the mind is right, just like you're trying to tell us, and you go through that experience, you're walking with it on your face right now. It is so cool. Good for you.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Wow.
Amen.
I
And
totally love
it's the truth. So, has anybody gone through the when we did the MJ, we did the groups through the MST trainings, right? So, like, it all plays into that. What Jim Rohn was saying, or we set our goals, our declarations. Carol was saying, people get nervous, like at surgeries. I know when Craig had his surgeries, I was spraying that stuff on him in the hospital. I was putting Cell Defender in his drink. I was putting mushrooms in his drink. And listen, they had him on those three. They had him on three heavy duty meds, during that time. But safe. And look at Carol. The scarring, your doctor couldn't even believe that your scarring was minimal and your stitches and everything heals. Well, it's preventative, right? And what Richard, isn't it true? This whole group of people look like they're reversing their ages. We're all going
Absolutely.
backwards. We're flipping our numbers
Absolutely.
around.
Yes. And I want to do one quote from Jim Rohn that I've always loved is take care of your health and your body. It's the only place you have to live.
Woo! That's a good one, right? Yeah. Yeah. Jim Rome is powerful. My daughter met his wife, his first wife. I think that's what he was referring to when he was saying, because my daughter was baby. I told this story before, but she was out in Santa Fe where my daughter lives, and she was babysitting their dogs, and the mother came over to help. And they went on a walk together, and she said she was married to Jim Rohn. And I think that may have been what he was referring to early on as we get wiser. But she said, he did change her life in a very positive and good way. And as MJ always says, we got to feed ourselves the good, positive, Avini vibes, right, Carol? Avini vibes. Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Anybody else want to come on and comment? We got some time. Tonight's kind of a different format. So if anybody wants to share something that may have happened to you today, or something you shared. Look at me. I met a new friend who climbed into my car. My sister climbed into someone's car, and the lady turned to her. She thought it was her car, and my sister got in her car. And that lady wasn't as nice as the girl I met today. She yelled at her. And I think she used a 4-letter word, which wasn't very nice. But my girl was nice. Celeste. Now we got a quiet group, maybe because everybody's muted. I don't know. You got to put your hand up or do one of these.
Yeah, if you raise your hands, I'll let you in.
Yeah. So
Actually, I can actually unmute if they want to. I can actually do that now if they want to.
yeah. So
Okay.
a lot of good things happening. Has anybody been on Dave Gilday did the in-home via Zoom? Did anybody go on that? That was pretty interesting. Tim did. Tim, you want to unmute? How was that? You were a part of that, yes? You got to unmute.
Okay.
Sorry,
Thank you.
okay, well, I'm unmuted now. It was great. It was a great call. Very informative. He laid out a bunch of things. Um, volume, rank, I mean, commission. He really did a good job on the call. And he also stressed out three-way calls. How he said if you're not gonna do a home party, do the three-way calls. Those are the 1-2 punches right there. Um, I think I'm gonna do more three-way calls with you, Christine. I got to step up on that. I'm also going to use Gilday and yourself, and then maybe MJ. But it was a really good informative call last night. I really enjoyed it.
Great.
Yeah.
Glad to hear.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share anything? Sandra, is that you coming? Right? No, it's not your hand raised, but I see you came on camera. If you want to jump in because we have some time.
I'm unmuting her. There you go.
Quiet group tonight, or maybe because they're all muted.
I am muted.
One of the
Yeah.
things I really liked about the call last night, and it was different, he actually gave us a format that included how to turn objections into how to turn the negative objections into goals. And he gave us statements. And we've all heard it before, but the way it was arranged and it is outlined, and we can actually get the script of it. So I found last night very, very meaningful, and it helps us to not reinvent the wheel. That's what I really like about all that's going on. Even today, the different format is still telling us similar information, but we really don't have to be isolated and come up with the strategy. We all know that attitude and your frame of mind makes a difference in how people receive you and how you project. But to hear Jim Rohn and then to see Carol's expressive, anything put the opposite, she was yelling with smiles. Her demeanor, she was I don't know how better to say it, but she was yelling loudly. And to look so good tells the rest of the story. So aging backwards is beautiful. And it's just a matter of whether or not we will humble ourselves enough to try somebody else's method. And it's so well proven. It's so, and so that's what last night was. Today is another demonstration. And that's why I keep going to all the meetings. Rarely do I hear something brand new, but the way it's presented, my inspiration increases in wanting to do it well because other people's lives are going to be affected for ages by how I bring whatever forth. But I really appreciated your having that clip of Jim Rohn. He's truly a guru. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Richard, go ahead. You're got to unmute though.
Oh, I'm unmuting him.
Sandra, you're always so valuable in your comments, and I appreciate that.
Is we're talking about utilizing three-way calls. What do your team or you use to introduce your third party? How do you do that? Do you say he's a member of our development team, he's our upline? What do you use to introduce your third party into the conversation?
Well, what I do is I know who I'm going to talk to. And if you listen to further of Jim Rohn's, if we kept going, you got to know your audience, right? So you got to know who you're talking to. So, I did a three-way call with somebody the other day, and I knew a lot about her. She didn't know I knew so much about her, but when he introed me, he already knew. What I practiced with Dave Gilday, Dave and I and a small group of us did this a while ago when we taught the MST. We literally use some scripts, and we practice back then we would only doing 2.5 minute stories, because the last thing you want me to do is ramble for 20 minutes, right? So I'm only going to talk. I'm going to do the intro. Like I'll introduce Tim, or if Tim and I do one, because Tim and I know our stories intimately now because we've been working so closely together. We've stood up in a room together. We've presented for over a year now together. So that's what, like, it's almost like you set your declaration and what you want to accomplish at the end of that on that call. You know, what do I want? I want to hear her, what she's saying when he introduces me. I say a colleague or a business partner. That's what I use. A colleague
I
or a
like
business,
that.
yeah, a colleague or a business partner. Like I'm going to supposed to do one with Nella tonight, and that's what she always introduces me, as a colleague or my business partner.
Thank you, Christine. I like that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else want to comment? Share? This group is quiet.
I don't see any other hands up.
Wow, it's a quiet group tonight. We're missing Gary tonight. Where is he? Gary usually has a good comment too. Well, let's talk about this. We'll get off early tonight. But I want to share this. How's everybody doing with their accelerator, their Avini accelerator? Did you go get the email? Do you know what you're supposed to be doing for June? Do you know why you're doing that for June? Today's June 18th. If you went to the conference, you probably, I wasn't there. I didn't know all the details. You guys that went to the conference had a head start. But you got to get your 3, right? Got to get your 3 newbies. You got to get your 3 newbies, and you need to print out. What I do is print this thing out. I'm doing an event this weekend with my different kits that I have. I have that available. So make sure that you know what the accelerator is. Carol, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is this, because when that came out, I was under. So is this only for the month of June, or is this that you can do it other months, but it has to be in that month? Is it only for the month of June that the accelerator is available?
Sure, you know the answer to that?
Can somebody do that for me?
It is June, only June 30th. You have to bring in, whether or not they'll offer it again. My understanding, there is an email. If you go into your email and you type in Avini Accelerator, there's an information sheet that says all the reasons, the perks. What are the perks? I'll tell you, I was a SEAL Team 7, and it was really fun to be one of the 7 people, right? To go through MST the first time. And for me, I like that whole idea of it, right? But I also like the idea is you only have one opportunity to make a first impression. So you only got one opportunity, is my understanding, to be an Avini accelerator, meaning you want to come out of the gate fast for that month of June. Okay. Maybe I have it wrong, but that's my understanding, because I've been out of the loop too. I've been dealing with some personal stuff. So I've been out of the loop too. But if anybody has a better clarification, but when you read that email that the corporate put out, it says you get your 3 accelerators for the month of June. Sandra, go ahead. You have your hand up. You got to mute.
I'm unmuting her. There you go, Sandra.
There it is. See, she's printed it out. Good girl. She's still muted.
Yeah, I gave her a prompt. Can you unmute, Sandra?
Yes.
There you are. Okay, duplication. Okay,
there it is. Duplication.
It's in the back office at Boca. They gave us this printed material. And the first step was to get started right away, and people have to get the packs. The second step was to make a list and then schedule the parties. The third step was to make sure that with 3-way calls, you invite more people. Step 4 was become an accelerator by enrolling at least 3 new distributors in your first 30 days, which is the month of June. This will not be available anytime soon, although our beloved Neil can bring this opportunity back up in the future. Number 5, start the system over again with your new distributors and help them become Avini accelerators themselves by having parties. And then the 6th step was to keep it simple and duplicate. What I want to add to it is when we have a meeting, We are not to serve really good foods or make it elaborate, because that's hard to duplicate. And people will feel reluctant to do it because you set such an example that was not reachable by some of the others. So they really admonished us not to have long meals, but only serve what you're going to have as samples, and using our products, vanilla and chocolate this, vanilla and chocolate that, and let people experience plush relief and things like that. And that was what I really liked, that this process is the most simplified, easiest way, and they want you to finish the meeting in 45 minutes. Start to finish, 45 minutes. Because when people think it's going to last a long time, they themselves get tired, or they have something else going on. Now, what I want to add totally different is, if we have a party, the definition was described and will be repeated each Tuesday night at 7 and 10 Eastern time. They're teaching us to do it by doing it, and they're going to make it so that we can do it by Zoom, because not everybody wants to bring people into their homes. We were told last night that that process of the whole party can be us inviting people into our home, literally having them seated by 7 Eastern time. So, and it's going to be at 2 different times on Tuesdays. So hope I'm saying this clearly, but they're going to be two different times, so that people that are earlier or on the East or West Coast will be able to accommodate this in their schedules and in the people's schedules that they're inviting. And what I like is, I don't have to do anything but answer questions after the Zoom call is over. That doesn't get more simple than that. They're going to do the party. All you have to do is have people at your house, or you can have a Zoom yourself and do your guest by Zoom. Let them do the heavy lift. And I mean, they're giving it to us.
Yes.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Steve Crowfoot, you have your hand up. You got to unmute. Thank you, Sandra. Go ahead, Steve.
Let me unmute. There you go.
Thank you for unmuting me. I just wanted to, I hope it's okay. I was going to mention that this, if you weren't not on the call this morning, the young lady from Canada was on, and she gave just an absolutely amazing recommendation for scripts and such. And I would suggest that you go on and listen to that call when it becomes available, because it's absolutely amazing. And her name is Jacqueline Andre.
And that was the 11 o'clock Eastern call. That's done?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Jacqueline Andre.
Yeah, but she was absolutely amazing. She's I believe a Emerald executive in Canada.
Canada.
So I wanted to mention that to you.
Imagine how big this will be when we're in all these countries. We're only in a few right now. Wow, you were in the right place at the right time, aren't you, Steve? So am I, so is Carol, and so is Richard, and all the rest of us. It's pretty exciting. So, all right. Well, speaking of 45 minutes, we're coming to that time. So if there's no other comments or questions.
I want to make a comment. Sometimes sometimes we are encouraged to listen to a particular video or person or whatever. I got to highlight what Steve just said. I've never heard a call like that one this morning. She was so almost monotone, but what she said spoke volumes. The way she did it, she came up with about 7 questions that we could use to start a conversation with anybody. They were so non-threatening. They can't put anybody on the defense. She was teaching us how to talk to a relative, a cold contact, a whatever. We've got to hear what she did this morning. And she is an emerald, I think she's an emerald apprentice. But anyway, she knows what she's doing. And it was so easy to listen to. And what's sad, really sad, is what she said was so profound that at the end, she said, "Are there any questions or any comments?" And she waited about 10 seconds. People were still unmuting and picking their teeth up off the table. And she got off.
Oh,
We must have talked, I don't know how long, but at
all right. Well,
least,
who has her phone number? Let's get in touch with them. We'll have her on Avini Vibes in a couple weeks.
oh, that would be great. She
Yeah.
really taught us how to start a conversation with absolutely anybody. So thank you, Steve, for doing that. And the way she did it, and yeah, she's from Canada. And as a side note, there was somebody on the call this morning from Ireland.
Oh, okay. I have product in Ireland. I have my horse trainer using it over there.
All right.
Yep. All right. Steve, you had another comment, or was your hand up just accidentally? Shu, you're on. You're up. And then we're gonna probably go ahead, Shu, if nobody else. Shu, unmute, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, about the Exciting 3 right now. If you went to Boca, Neil gave you those people there until the end of July to complete year 3.
For the accelerator,
Wow.
what you're
Yes.
talking about.
And if you went to Boca, you also had a jump start. So I'm just going to say it. There's no excuse not to get you 3.
Right.
Be an accelerator.
Yep.
So I got 2. I'm getting one more, buddy. I got to do it in the next week. I tell you a quick story, and I'm going to let the next person go. I have a lady that come and cleans my house once a month, and she speaks Spanish. And she came to my house the other day, and one of the chemicals she was using really smelled. I didn't like it because I like the natural stuff. So I told her they had volatile organic compounds in them, and she needs to come and sit and have lunch with me. And I talked to her, and what did she do? She shared a problem. She shared the problem that her father had a scratchy skin issue. And I said, so did I. And I showed her the pictures of what my legs look like before I went on Avini. And she says, okay, I'm going to do this. So you never know. And I was in my pajamas still. So I worked the business from my pajamas. And now I got today, what a blessing of someone stranger getting in my car. So you're coming out of the woodwork, as MJ used to say, right? Envision the people coming to you. All right. Who else has a comment? Anybody else? Did I see another hand up?
I don't see any hands. Anybody else?
Is Steve from Canada in here?
Tim, hold on. Tim has his hand up. Hold on. Let me unmute him. Unmute, Tim. There you go.
Okay, sorry to bother you again. I have that call. The Tuesday night call is 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time. It's Avini Vision and Help, and it's on the health training website, Avini Health Training. That's the call that they were telling us to be on every Tuesday night, 8 to 10 Eastern time. And it was really informative so far. It was a great call.
8 and 10?
8 and 10. 8 and 10. Part 1 is 8 and part 2 is 10 p.m. That's Eastern. It's out of the West Coast, so they're starting at 5 on the West Coast, 7 on the West Coast. So that's the call. And I believe it's Tony and Gilday, I believe.
Yeah, Tony and yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
great people.
Thank you for that.
Right.
iPhone 2, you got to unmute. We'd love to see your face if you can come on, but I see you have a comment.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let me unmute. There you go.
Tomorrow is June. How do you say it? June 19th. How do you say it?
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. And some of my, Deborah and Delta, they haven't been on in a while. They're doing a big booth tomorrow, an Avini booth at the event, and Amy Warner's going to help them. So, you can just be creative in your own way to get out and share Avini. Okay, iPhone 2, I don't know if you have your self hand up and you want to speak, because we're going to call it quits in just a couple minutes. I always try to keep you on here for 45, and we're a little bit over. If you want to unmute, go ahead.
I've given them 2 prompts. They aren't unmuting.
Okay, if they're not, then I just want to close with this because Chip's not with us tonight. What do you all think about if we pick a date and we do a Spanish meeting? Okay, we'll speak. I'll have the translator. So Robin gave me a woman who's I don't know what rank she is, but she's she's been with Avini. I think I met her. She's from California, and I was going to ask her to be on. So I'll give you some lead time so we can think about the population, and we can invite them to a call, and we'll make it very, it would be an opportunity for them to come to Avini Vibes and hear about the products and the business opportunity. Any thumbs up for that one?
Okay. The
Steve,
iPhone 2 is trying to unmute. Try it one more time.
try one more time.
There, no. You unmuted for a second. Try it again. One more time.
It's probably Noah.
No, I can't.
No, Nella, is that you? Happy birthday, Nella, if it is you. All right, so I'll give you the heads up and we'll do something in with translation for a Spanish group. So thinking about, go out there, share Avini with everyone, but go out there also and let's get ready for that. We'll do that sometime latter part of July. Okay, I wish you all the best this night. Thank you for being with us tonight. And I just want to say, let's go out and do what Jim Rohn and what Carol did. And Sandra was sharing that we got to go out wearing it, right? We got to go out and wear the joy. So God bless each and every one of you. All the recordings of Avini Health Training. And don't forget the summit tickets are going to go on sale soon. All right, I believe in July. Those will be on soon. So be sure to be in Orlando. Mark your calendar for October already. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Bye, everyone.
Right now.